Salaam nerds. My name is Jazz, and I'm here with my co-host, the Butcher.
Dun 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 dun! What's up, guys? I
How'd I do?
am. You did pretty well. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. You know what? Because there are some days where I don't have a lot of energy either. So like, I feel like you did better than I do on my days.
All right, I'll take it.
I'll take it. It's good. It's good. All right. Listen, guys. I'm going by the name Butcher today, and if you don't know why I'm going by several different names on every single episode, you'll find out in 3 months. But we are going over Love is Blind episode 8 and 9. And we are going to have some opinions about this show because there are some stuff that's coming out in the news that is no bueno. And there's some stuff that we are hearing as rumors, no bueno. And then there's the show, which is also no bueno. So a lot of stuff going on. I don't know what to tell you. But listen, we have to introduce our guest, Mrs. Adome, aka Christina.
I love that. I get mail like that, so it totally works.
I love it. I love it. I was like, you know what? We have to remind people that like it's synergy. We have to remind people that like you were on last week's episode, and so was your husband, and we got your husband from doing the Loki show and what was the other one we were doing?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. That's what it was.
He was literally on every episode. We missed episodes, and Adome didn't miss episodes.
Adome didn't miss a single episode, and we missed episodes. That was
He's
wild.
obsessed. He's obsessed. Like Marvel and Star Wars. Like it is on our shared calendar.
Nice. No, we love Adome. Love that, and we want to make sure our audience treats you just as nicely. So we want to make sure that they know where you come from. So whereas Adome was an expert on Star Wars, Christina is an expert on reality TV. So they're the best. They're the best.
Only Love is Blind and like basically like the trash Netflix shows.
Yeah, of course, the trash Netflix show. Oh man, and this is one of the trashiest of the trashiest dating shows because there was a time where I was like, you know what, man, look how progressive Love is Blind is. They have people of different weight, they have people of different race, they have people of different religion, and I was like, good for them. And I used to compare them to The Bachelor, which used to manipulate people and do all these horrible things. But you know what? Love is Blind is no better than The Bachelor. In fact, they may be worse. They may be worse. There are rumors coming out. And then there's rumors, and then there's actual allegations and actual court proceedings and stuff like that. So I can't say that anymore, man. I can't say that with a honest heart that Love is Blind is the better of the two shows. And you know what, man? It might be time to just say the experiment is a fail. Like love may be blind, but marriage is not. Because there's not a lot of good stuff coming out from this show. So we're gonna talk about the rumors. We're gonna talk about some of the allegations that are happening. But let's start off with the actual show. So let's get into it.
I don't know why you're asking me because like I haven't seen this season at all. So
I know Jazz is treating it like he treats the Bachelor shows because the Bachelor shows Jazz doesn't watch and we have to explain it to him. So the audience in context,
because I choose not to watch The Bachelor.
Yeah,
I know we're gonna like go into the show first, but I might as well get out of the way. One of the contestants who is currently suing Kinetic Entertainment, Netflix, all of them. She has mutual friends with people I'm friends with. The show was in Houston, and so everyone kind of sort of knows everybody eventually. Once I found out about this, I was like, no, I cannot watch this. I cannot support this at all. Like, this is somebody from my city. Like, I just couldn't. So in the comments here, I did put the PDF for the court case. It is out there. Feel free to read it on your own time. But yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So I was gonna ramp up to it, but you know what, man? Fuck Netflix and fuck that guy. We're gonna get into that, but yeah, I guess we might as well just say it now. All right. So, the show, it seems to be starting off with people getting their fittings done. Everyone's getting their tuxedos and wedding gowns and all that fun stuff. And then this is the episode where they start to sow in some doubt so that we don't know what's going to happen. They want to keep us guessing on who's going to say yes, who's going to say no. So they do a few things here to sow some doubts, and we'll see what's going on. But where we left off, there was a whole mess of shit happening. There was shit happening with Johnny. There was shit happening with Uche. There was shit happening with Izzy. There is so much garbage going on, and a few people caught some strays, if I do recall. So let's start off with Uche. Let's start off with Uche because Uche and Lydia were going at it, and then for some reason he starts talking to Milton. And he starts talking like, "Hey, yo, man, I'm just trying to be a bro. I'm just trying to look out for you. This girl's crazy. She went on this show just to get with me, right? It's crazy." And he's like, "I'm just telling you." And then Milton is like, "You know what, man? That's your perspective, man. On the calculus of life, you're on the x-axis. I'm on the y-axis. She's on the z-axis." And I'm like, "Yo, this man is trying to confuse her with guy. He's trying to confuse people with math." And like, it was a little crazy. Christina, what were your thoughts about the whole Milton and Uche exchange?
Okay, so Uche is a drama queen. I just want to put that out there. His holier than thou. I love that he was called out by Miriam, like prior to talking to Milton. He was
Yes.
bringing everything up to like the group of guys and girls that were sitting on couches, and Miriam was like, "I'm gonna call you out for the filth that you are." And I was like, "Yes, queen, I'm here for that. Please bring him all the heat. He deserves it." Because, like I said in the last episode, he had this holier than thou complex, and he carried it into this episode. Obviously, it's a carryover because it's one scene, but still, like, carried over and someone called him out. So I love that. I love that Miriam called him out and was just like yelling and like telling him what he needed to know about himself because he's trash as a human, I think. After seeing this recent episode, him talking to Milton again, like drama queen stirring the pot, trying to be like, "I'm looking out for you, bro. I'm looking out for you, bro." And he's like bringing in things that other people have said, that may not necessarily be his own thoughts. So I'm just like, I'm over Uche. I hope he has no more airtime. There's only one more episode left, but still, like, I hope he has no more airtime. I hope they like give him like the shortest questioning ever in the reunion, if he's even on that. He's a drama queen and loves to stir the pot and carries this like, "I'm better than you" toxic masculinity, as Miriam put it. And it's the truth, like, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. So for those that don't know, what happened is after Uche and Milton were talking, he comes back to the group and tries to like gaslight them and be like, "This is what Lydia did, and she tried to sabotage my relationship with Aaliyah." And then all the girls kind of just like together in unison were like, "No, that's not what happened. She was actually very supportive and she was actually being there." And then he didn't want to hear it. And it was kind of wild, and then,
He walked away. He walked
yeah,
away as if he didn't care, and, like, clearly he cared enough to bring it up. So, like,
yep,
don't act like you don't care at all by just treating people like, you're better than them.
yeah,
Question:
and
was he
then
the lawyer?
yeah,
He's a
he is a
lawyer,
lawyer.
yeah.
That explains it.
Yeah, and then, basically, Miriam was like, "Yo, I will read you to filth. Don't fuck with me," right? And then
Yeah.
he tries to fuck with her. He's like, "Yo, does anybody know, where you live? Are
You're
you
here for the
here? Are you in
cameras.
Saudi Arabia? Like, does anybody know your job? Are you in skincare?" Like
"Do you have a boyfriend? Are you engaged?" Like, he was so rude, so
He
rude.
was so rude. And then also there was a weird exchange between Johnny and Stacy, because Johnny was like shocked. And for some reason she just happened to be looking at Stacy's, and Stacy was like, "Is something wrong with your face?"
Is
I
your
was
face
like,
okay? I said this last episode. She's like Southern Belle and Mean Girl, and like
yeah.
more Mean Girl just kept coming up, and I was just like, wow, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool, not cool.
Oh man. All right. By the way, Christina, if you can, I think your thing is scratching on your shirt. So
Yeah.
just hold that in so we don't get scratched. Yes. So that was the whole thing with Lydia and the group, which I was cool. I thought it was cool that the girls defended her and they were
For
like,
sure.
they had her back.
I also
Then
appreciated how Milton acted too. He was like
yeah,
super chill, like nonchalant. So kudos to Milton for that.
He's
Milton
the
wasn't
young
going.
guy, right?
Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
young guy, but he's very like scientific, like based. Like he's like, all right, I have the information that I need. You have one perspective, she has the other perspective, and it is what it is. And he was very calm, and he listened, and he like whatever. It was,
The way
he,
that he like exited too, he was like, I wish you all the best, Uche. And
yeah,
just like
yeah.
left. I'll text you in the group chat. Like,
I'll text you in the group chat. Yeah, he
I
said
want
that.
nothing to do with you, but I'm gonna pretend I do.
Yeah, no. And then the other group that had a lot of issue was Izzy, Stacy, Johnny, and Chris. So for some reason, Johnny and Chris were talking on the sofa, and he was just be like, yo, trying to convince Chris that Johnny is sketch. And I'm like, bro, leave it alone. Like he's with her. He has all the information. He chooses to be with her anyways. And he's like, yo, I just want to convince people that, like, she's not sketch. She's a wonderful person. They were not having it. So she walked over, and then Stacy walked over, and they were just like legit having a pretty nasty conversation. Like, I don't understand. I feel like there's got to be some piece of information missing because they hate each other way more than they should.
I really think that it's a jealousy thing. Like
Yeah.
Stacy is super jealous of just the fact that Johnny and Izzy were talking, and like that's the whole point of the show. So like if you didn't want your potential fiance, whoever that may have been prior to being Izzy, like if you didn't want your potential fiance to talk to anybody else, then why did you join the show?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make it doesn't make sense. We probably are missing information, but I'm also like, Stacy, like, come on. First off, you're 33. Secondly, you're on a show where people are going to be talking to other people. And then thirdly, like, if you're so, straight shooter, like, sure of yourself, then just like let it be what it is, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no need to treat someone so shittily and like just be a shitty person. Like,
Yeah.
no one deserved that. And not to say that, like, Johnny is innocent or telling the truth or not manipulating the situation in her favor. Like, I'm not taking sides. But I'm also just like, no one deserves to be treated like that at all.
Yeah. It was really, really strange. And then, like, you have Izzy here be like, hey, Chris, you're a great guy. And, like, you and me, we're both nice guys, and people take advantage of nice guys. First of all, Izzy, you have nothing to take advantage of. You have no credit. Like, chill out. You don't even have a credit card. What are people going to take advantage of? Your paper plates? Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing to take advantage of. All right? Calm the fuck down. Oh, man. But it's so funny. And Izzy definitely has some like insecure things because him and Stacy start having a little bit of a tip. And she's like, I don't understand. Why are you like so mad at Johnny? Like, he is extra mad. And like Stacy's like, why is he super mad if you don't care about this chick? And he's like, no, I gotta take care of Chris, man. And she's like, why? Leave him alone. Who cares? It's not your business anymore. And he just like gets like really weird about it. And then she's like, who can't why are you so obsessed with this person? She's like, I'm not. She's just a pod chick. She's like, well, I was a pod chick. And she's like, no, you're my fiance. And they're just talking in circles to the point where that fight led them into their own fight. And now he's like, then she starts bringing up stuff like him not being enough. Then he goes into the other room and cries.
I mean, I don't want to laugh.
Wow.
I feel like everybody has had their moments in relationships where they're like, I don't feel like I'm enough. You're
Yeah.
making me feel like this, that, and the other thing. So I don't want to invalidate his feelings in any way, shape, or form. Because we've all been there in some regard. But like, yeah, it was kind of a convoluted mess. And, Stacy's saying that she wants actions to be reciprocated, that she gives and she gives and she gives. And I'm just like, okay, maybe she does. We haven't really seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
She cooked for him once. That's what
yeah.
that's all he
Well,
said.
she's also just like always like, you have to take care of me. You have to take care of me. You have to take care of me. And Izzy's constantly like, I love you. I care about you. Like, I'm showing you this. He got her
flowers.
Flower Mondays. Like,
Yeah.
he gets her gifts that we see later in the episode. Like, and she's like, I'm giving. And I'm like, okay, you're giving bitch to me, but that's fine.
God damn.
It's so self-centered, right? Like, that's what it's giving to me, at least.
No one is likable this season. This is definitely the worst season. I am not a big fan of this season.
Yeah, and I just wanna go back to the Chris thing. Like, he absolutely made his choice with Johnny, whether or not Johnny told him all the things or,
Yeah.
again, whipped up the situation in her favor. Like, he's a grown ass adult. And
Yeah.
so, like, as much as Izzy wants to take care of his friend, like, Stacey also did have a point in saying, like, he's a grown ass adult. Like, let him be. He'll figure it out on his own. Like, we all have to learn our lessons, no
Yeah.
matter how hard they can be. So,
What do you think about Izzy's mom meeting Stacey? How do you think that interaction went?
okay, I have a Hispanic mom, and
Mhm.
like, I, in many ways, saw my mom and his mom, and I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, that's so great." My mom is, I mean, not, we don't have similar stories in any way, shape, or form. I'm like, "Oh, that's great and sweet and lovely." I think it was a pretty genuine, conversation. I think that was the most genuine
Yeah.
I've seen out of Stacey, um, and like most vulnerable, most kind of like emotive. um, so yeah, I was impressed with her in that moment, and I love Izzy's mom because, again, the
Yeah.
Hispanic mom
No,
situation.
Izzy's mom was great. I really liked her too. I thought that was really,
She's
really
so
good.
sweet.
Yeah. And then Izzy decides, you know what? Because she likes to ride in first class and, do all of the jet flying and stuff, I'm gonna take her on a jet plane. And it's like, okay. First of all, Netflix probably set that up. you
Sure.
you probably couldn't get, that reserved on your credit card, bro.
I mean,
So,
my first question was like, if he really does, because we didn't actually know he had bad credit until
yeah.
like episode 9. But like, if he actually has bad credit, like, how did he pay for this?
Yeah, right. No, Netflix
Not to
paid
say
for it.
that he doesn't have money. I'm just saying, like, where's that money come from? Because his
Mhm.
job also was like 3 days old at the
Yeah.
beginning of the experiment. So,
I don't know, man. Yo, having bad credit fucks you up. Like, you can't even get a phone, like, if you have bad credit or a car. Like, bro, it's hard. It's hard
or
out here.
like even like a payday loan, right? Like,
Yeah.
like a $500 payday loan. Like, having bad credit is rough, dude.
I have a friend who moved here from the UK to do residency. And then turned out none of her credit transferred over. So she had no credit. So like she was like, yo, without credit, you can't do anything. She's like, I gotta build credit from scratch. And like
I mean,
Mhm.
it's
people will deny you apartments, right? Because they need
yeah.
a credit check. So,
It's crazy, but yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so they go on this like flying date and stuff like that, and they're being all lovey-dovey, whatever. Then they come back, and the lovey-dovey part is kind of over, and she's like, "Hey," she finds out about like the fact that he can't have credit cards, and she's like, finds out that he has bad credit. Now, here's the part that's really weird. Somebody mentioned his bad credit couple episodes ago. And now they're acting like they just found out about their bad credit. That's weird, because somebody did bring that up. I don't know who it was.
it was Johnny. Johnny was like, he has bad credit. So, like, Johnny told the world that Izzy had bad credit. Whether or not we knew it was actually true or that it came from Izzy's mouth was a whole
Yeah.
different story. But he admitted it now. So we know he actually has bad credit.
So Johnny didn't do anything wrong. He
No.
told her information. She didn't know it was a secret, so she told everyone else. Unless she probably did know it was a secret and told anyone anyway.
So, like, that's my question when I saw that they were having the conversation and Cece was like, "Oh, I don't know that I can trust you. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't tell me you had bad credit. Like, why didn't we talk about it when you had money?"
Yeah.
Anyways, or when we were talking about money, I'm wondering, like, watching back the show, is she even gonna be more pissed that he told
Johnny.
Johnny that he had bad credit and didn't tell, like, Izzy didn't tell Stacey, you know what I
Oh.
mean?
Spicy.
I
Oh,
was
you're
just like,
right.
"Wait, but Johnny knew and Stacey didn't?" I was like, "Oh, shit."
Damn,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Yo, he's gonna be so mad.
I had to, and I had to double check that it was Johnny that was like, you had bad credit. I like
You're right.
literally went through the episodes just
Yeah.
to make sure.
Damn,
it was
look at you
Johnny.
doing the research. Respect. Respect. You're not like me who does a half-ass job.
I mean, I was like at my parents' house this week, so I had a little extra time.
Okay. That makes sense.
I just
no.
looked it up. Oh my god, this is even worse than I thought it could be. He has $3,500 in credit card debt.
Yeah.
Meaning, if his score is that bad, he was probably skipping payments and whatnot, because 3,500 is a low amount realistically when
Right?
it comes to credit card debt.
It's still a low amount. Like I would just, like, if that was like my like son, I would just give him 35 just to make sure he doesn't get into go into like bad credit.
Yeah, like.
But maybe he didn't tell his parents. You know, like you don't know what kind of relationship people have with their parents. Like some people I know don't talk to their families
about money,
anything, let alone money.
That's true.
That's
true.
funny, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, 3,500. Like, if he would have just been honest about that, that's nothing. That can be resolved rather quickly.
But then I'm also like, is it actually $3,500? Because like,
right,
$3,500.
The math ain't mathin'.
Exactly.
The math is not mathing. That's what I'm saying.
math
It's something
mathing.
worse.
Not
there has to
even
be
girl
something
math is
worse
mathing.
here.
Yeah.
Maybe he got caught in a Ponzi scheme.
But
Even
still, a
then,
Ponzi scheme would be more than $3,500. Like,
yeah, that's true. I don't know.
It's such a low amount, relatively speaking. Like,
I mean, but also,
how
if you're
bad
thinking about,
can
like,
it be?
you make $36,000 a year, that's $3,000 a month, right? I mean, you got to take care of all these things, but you have to have a little bit of extra money to pay your credit card. Like,
I don't know. I get that. People can't live paycheck to paycheck. I actually get that part. If he's making $36K a year, that's on him, and he's $3,500 in debt, it's fine. But that's not like a lot to where your credit score should go that far down.
Yeah, you gotta get the credit doctor, man. They'll hook you up.
Oh hell no! Never use them bitches.
Oh really? I've just heard them on commercials. I don't know if they're bad or not.
I swear, every credit repair agency that they say, "Oh, we can fix your credit overnight," they're all a bunch of liars. There's only one way to fix your credit, which is to make your payments on time, pay off your bad debts, and then you can possibly ask people, like your creditors, like, "Hey, if you can help me out with, like, lowering my interest rate or delaying my payments a bit, just so I can show as on time for now." That would be great. But that's really it. Beyond that, these agencies cannot do anything more, and you can do that yourself without spending a dime.
So like
I know this because my parents went through this way back in the day, like 20 years ago, and I'd help them through it.
Interesting. So for me, my philosophy is if I can't pay in full, I can't buy it. So I never I always pay in full every single time, like automatic payment. I can't.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, I like to live below my means. Like I drive like a 2011 like Toyota RAV4. Like I'm not buying brand new cars every year. I live below my means. That way, if any emergencies happen, brush it off. Oh, someone needs 10 grand. Here you go. Because you know what? I didn't spend all that extra money on cars.
Are you making fun of me?
Why? You have a nice car? I don't know.
I have a very nice car right now.
Oh, I do.
It's not that nice. It was only 36,000, but still, it's a nice car.
See, man, I get used cars. I get a used car.
I got a used too.
Okay, good. That's how you got to do it, man. Because you lose money as soon as you drive off the lot, man. Makes no sense.
I know, yeah.
Fuck that
and I'm
shit.
very proud of the interest rate I got, 1.9%.
Hey, that's great.
Fire.
All right. Very cool. All right. So now let's go to Milton and Lydia. So Milton and Lydia, they're having a little bit of issues too. Lydia meets Milton's family, and they are just like him, very analytical. His sister says this is fake. This is all phony. This is phony. She said it's phony.
Like multiple times too.
Yeah. And her mom was like, okay, this is like a business arrangement, man. You got to do a SWOT analysis. I was like, yo, no, she did not just say SWOT analysis.
I wonder what she does, because like only certain type of people use a SWOT analysis when talking about relationships.
That's something that I learned in my MBA classes. It's like strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. I was like, yo, she brought that out.
She's an accountant. There's no other
I mean,
possible way.
Like, has to do something with business management, business partnerships, like acquisitions and mergers, like something like that.
Yo, she's like, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. So let me handle my business, man. Like, that's what that family's about, man. I like that. That was really cool. They also called him out on the age difference. Like, what kind of 30-year-old woman will want a man who's 24? I was like, damn, she said that.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
were not
Okay,
pulling
I
punches.
looked it up. Mom's with Coldwell Bank. So
Okay.
She's a biker.
yeah.
Yeah. I fuck with that. I fuck with
Okay.
that.
That tracks.
Yeah. All right. I love that. Their family was so real for that. And then they were asking him, like, how do you feel about this? He's like, like, Milton was like, I'm just, adding data points. And from that, I'm going to come up with a conclusion. She's like, this sounds more like a science project than a freaking relationship.
I love how his sister was also like, or both, I think his sister and his mom were like, literally, you have like really well rehearsed, mature answers. Like,
Yes.
yes.
This thing, this
like,
shit is scripted, yo.
Yeah. And then Lydia's face, I'm sure this was the edit, but Lydia's face was like, she was like, you're calling me out on my shit. You're like picking up on all my secrets, which I really hope they were, but
That was funny. That was funny. I really I really enjoy their
I
family.
did
calling out
not
Lydia.
expect Lydia's responses either. I was just like, these are like the perfect responses, right? Like,
Yeah.
perfect, quote unquote.
She went to Chat GPT and she got the answer.
She practiced with AI.
That's the Chat GPT answer. Oh man. All right. So they go on this date, very cute date, in a museum with like a bunch of like rocks and stuff. Like they did geology section of some museum, and they have
Science
a little
museum.
dinner date. Yeah,
Or
Science
Natural
Museum.
Science Museum, Houston. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, can you take me there? I want to go. It looked really cool.
Let's go, dude.
Let's do
I
it.
actually have a membership there. Like I pay
Ooh,
like the extra
baller.
just for the benefits and whatnot. So yeah, come
Baller.
through.
You get
We'll also go to the Fine
after-hour
Arts
access like
Museum,
they
take you to the
do?
Health Museum, take you to the Contemporary Arts Museum.
Can we have an after-hours date there with like?
So I do have tickets every now and then for after-hours events if you really want to go.
Let's do it. Next time there's an event, we'll do it. We're gonna reenact Love Is Blind. I'll be Lydia.
All right,
You
let's
can
do
be
it.
Milton.
In front of the Rotocris site, the specific rock that Milton
Yes.
chose.
I want to reenact that entire scene.
Oh, I know exactly where that gem hall is.
Oh man, Jeff, you're a gem. Okay, that's what it is.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. All right, so they're all like loving this and be like, this is such a nice date, and then all of a sudden they're like talking about like what their issues are, and you go, you wake up cranky. And she goes, you must have done something to make me wake up cranky. She's like, it's been 15 seconds and you're yelling. So what could I have done in the 15 seconds? I don't know. They were kind of going back and forth about her being cranky and her being very emotional. Now, listen, being emotional is not a bad thing, but you should be able to handle your emotions a little bit, right? But Milton's kind of the opposite, where he's very like, I don't know, he's very critical thinking, very analytical. So they're both like trying to figure each other out. And he's like, well, I do things this way. And he goes, I did not like the way you handle the whole thing with Uche. It's not how I would have handled it. And she was like, no, I was proud of how I handled it. Like I told him off and I didn't want him talking this shit and that shit about me. What did you think of the conversation that they were having?
So Milton said it multiple times. Like, people like Uche do not deserve the privilege of impacting or affecting your emotions. He said it like originally when, Lydia was super upset and Uche had like she and Uche had just had their little blowout. And then he said it again in the museum. So like it wasn't that he was saying anything new. He was saying like people don't deserve the privilege to make you feel a certain type of way. Like that is like for you to control. And she's just like, no. And I would personally attribute that to her waking up cranky or like, just not being able in some way, shape, or form to like gauge her own emotions right off the bat. And then from what I'm hearing, like blaming it on other people, like own your own shit, right? And once you own your own shit, then you can own how people make you feel, or whether or not you can make, like, they can make you feel a certain type of way. So, like, I don't know. That's just how I kind of perceive the situation.
I guess we could say the relationship is on the rocks.
Nice.
Obviously.
Oh man. But he does tell her, like, listen, I'm afraid to tell you things because you're too emotional. And that's bad in a relationship. Imagine being in a relationship where you're scared to tell your partner something because you're afraid of them, or you think they'll break, or they're too emotional. Like
Or, like, you don't know how they're gonna react, right? Like,
yeah.
it's just gonna be like, "Oh," you say, like, "I love you," and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, I can't believe you said that to me."
Yeah, that's not a good vibe. That's not a good vibe. All right, so those were the two people who are possibly getting married. So, of those two, do you think any of them are gonna make it?
I don't
Everybody
know.
needs therapy.
I
See,
mean,
you say I don't know. I say I don't care. 'Cause I
that's
don't
true too.
care. I don't care about either of these people. I
I
don't care
mean,
if they get together or not.
for sure, definitely don't care if they get together. I do care if people get hurt though, so I don't want anyone to get hurt. Like, every time someone walks away from the altar, I'm like, "Oh man, that sucks." Like, oh.
I
I
see
feel it
that.
deeply, more deeply than I would if, like, they got divorced later down the line, which still
Yeah.
sucks and still hurts, but
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm a little bit more jaded when it comes to reality TV, and I'm like, nah. I mean, sure they can get mad, but they knew what they're into. I don't like it when like one person is blindsided, right? I hate that when they're both kind of like crappy. Like, not a big fan of Izzy or Stacey. I don't really feel that bad, but like in one of the earlier seasons, like there's always people who get like blindsided pretty badly or something
mhm.
really bad happens. You do take sides, right? So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But let's talk about some of the stuff that kind of happened outside of the main people. One thing we know, I think we said earlier, um, we talked about the Miriam stuff, which I thought was really really funny. We talked about that. Apparently there is two people, Renee and Carter, who we actually can see in this episode because they're there when people are trying on the wedding dresses.
And getting the
Apparently
kisses.
their entire narrative was cut. They were just like, all right, we don't care you're getting married. Okay. You just cut them completely out. And then we got the thing that Jath was talking about earlier. Now we can get into this. So Tran was with this guy named Thomas, and apparently when they went to Mexico, she was assaulted, and they said that the crew was very negligent about it, and they didn't do a good job of protecting her. Which I can believe because they really put these people in really, in situations where they're with people who they've only known for 10 days. Like you
Or
don't
less.
know, or
Or
less.
less.
That's scary. Like when you think about it, like, yeah, you're spending a lot of time with somebody and you're talking to them, but like there could be a lot of creeps out there, or people be like, hey, we're engaged now. I'm entitled
This
to
is an
something,
expectation.
right? That's fucking like, no, man. It doesn't matter if you're engaged. Consent is consent. Um, I don't know. That's pretty crazy. Jav, you have thoughts?
I mean, I've already said it all. Like, Thomas sucks. Uh,
Yeah,
Screw Kinetic, Delirium, Netflix, all of them for allowing it to happen and not doing a damn thing about it. Because,
yeah.
according to the court case, which I'm reading, she did let them know the next day about everything that happened, and they
Mm-hmm.
really just brushed it off.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's just like a typical case of any sort of assault. Like, people just don't believe the person
Yeah,
that was assaulted, and in this case, the woman. And
yeah.
that's unfortunately just a common refrain,
Mm,
sadly.
yeah. It's also might be the reasons why there's less episodes this season. If you notice, there's like I think a few less episodes, and that's because they had to take them out completely from this show.
Yep.
Hmm.
They had to take
So,
out 3 couples, so all for different reasons, all bad. So,
yo,
you know,
Netflix fucking up, man. Like
Well,
yeah.
holy
I mean,
shit.
like, people I mean, I would assume that people would have to go through a mental health screening or like some sort of
Yeah.
background check or some sort
Yeah.
of, sanity or psychological check. And I'm like, did you skip that? Like, how
Yeah.
thorough was it? How thorough has it been in the past? Like,
Yeah.
clearly there's a misstep from the jump. Not even
Yeah.
like, I'm not even gonna, yeah.
No, they knew what they were doing because there was one couple that, did get married. They ended up getting divorced later, but they were married on the show and whatnot. They completely cut them out because their story just wasn't entertaining enough. So, like, they know what kind of archetype they're going for when they're casting these people. And then on top of that, they know who they want to include in the filming of whatever happens after they see each other. Like, I have no sympathy for Netflix or any of their partners here at all. Like, they knew exactly what was happening.
That's crazy, man. I'm so disappointed. That's just insane. Like, I really thought this show was being so much more progressive than some of the other shows, but like, turns out to be worse. And the fact that they can't protect their contestants is pretty sad.
Or
Yeah,
they're
I
not willing
actually
to.
found the paragraph of what happened when she made the complaints. Producers made attempts to mask plaintiff's sexual assault by characterizing it as a lack of attraction on part of the plaintiff. And when the plaintiff insisted the assault took place, the producers questioned whether it was a problem of communication or not and swept it aside.
Wow.
Like that, fuck, like, there's no way around that.
I also wonder, like, who the producers were, right? Like, if it was specifically all male producers or if it was a combination of male and female producers.
You're right.
Because that also plays a role into, and I should say, and how long they've been on the show, because that also plays a role, like, into how they view certain situations.
I could see Netflix being like, hey, we don't need this bad publicity. Just gaslight this chick into thinking that it was her not being attracted. Like, I could see that totally happening. And then some producer has to go and do it. I don't know. It's either way, it's a very shitty situation.
Actually, it wasn't Netflix who did it. It was Delirium TV and Kinetic Content.
Okay,
like,
well,
like the producers who were there.
Oh, okay, the producers. Gotcha.
Production companies.
Gotcha. Okay, so Netflix is just the distributor, basically.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay,
but they are still mentioned in the lawsuit.
Gotcha. And it's not the first lawsuit. I mean, they also have another lawsuit saying that they kept people for way more hours than they're supposed to, and they didn't give them food. There's a lot of stuff that went on last season, and the season before that, which is Nick Thompson's season, and he is suing them on a lot of that stuff. Which
that's also part of this lawsuit because yes, they did not give her food. They gave a lot of alcohol. They just wanted the reactions to come out in the pods.
Yeah,
and they were essentially held against their will. They couldn't go anywhere. No phones, nothing. If they wanted to go out, somebody from Delirium TV or Kinetic Content had to like walk with them. Like it's wild.
That's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not very happy about this show, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. I might not cover it anymore. Might start watching it, to be honest.
I mean, I feel like if there comes a critical mass of lawsuits, there's only so far that they can go, right? Like, Netflix isn't going to be willing to put their ass on the line because Netflix is a moneymaker. So we might not necessarily have another season of Love is Blind to watch. If this continues.
I've stopped watching it. I hope there isn't another season. Like, if this is the way they're going to behave, they can go.
Yeah.
I also feel like the experiment has run its course. Like,
Love is not blind. And
I mean, love is and isn't
love
blind.
is blind. Marriage
is not. Yes. Yeah. That's fair. Love is blind. Marriage is not. Like, I think we know the answer. I think we're good guys. Like, you don't have to keep doing this over and over again.
Holy shit. They were on set for 18 hours a day.
That's a lot. That's insane.
Yeah, you gotta read through this document. This is wild.
I'm here to lead, not to read.
Sure, I'll do all the reading then.
I'll lead the podcast, you read. That's a quote from Simpsons, by the way. Yes. No, I totally agree with you, Jazz. I think that's pretty messed up. I don't know what's gonna happen with this show, unless like Netflix decide to drop all the production people and just use the IP and do a brand new restart of the show. I don't know, man. Not happy about this. So we'll
I
see.
think the brand's gone at this point. Like, how would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, forever in my mind, I'm gonna think Love Is Blind harmed friends of friends. Like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna watch it again.
And
It
that's
harmed
like
people,
only
yeah.
people you know, like, right? Like, how many other people whose stories didn't make it onto TV, who, were capsized by an NDA, like, haven't been able to share their story
Oh,
Yep.
of
yeah.
anything that may have happened to them.
Man, it is what it
There are a
is.
lot of people on these shows too, like a lot
Yeah.
of people.
I know. We'll wrap up this season, but then next one,
If there is one.
if there is one, we'll see. I don't know. Not looking good. Not looking good. We'll have to do some other show. I don't know. It is, although what sucks is this is our highest rated show. Like Love Is Blind, it's actually higher rated than even our Bachelor stuff. So too bad for us. We got to stick with our guns. But yeah,
Always.
yeah. So I don't know, man. Not a big fan of Netflix right now. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this lawsuit, and we'll make sure we'll update everybody on it on our Salaam Weekly episode. So whenever there's new things that come out about it, we'll let you guys know. But Love Is Blind is pretty much dead to us.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, Christina, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on. Even though we may not do Love Is Blind anymore after this season, we would love to have you back for other shows. I'm sure you're a fan of other shows, and we'll be capturing tons of other shows that'll pop up. And we appreciate you. And say hi to your husband for us.
I will.
Hi, Dome.
Bye, Dome. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, Salaam, nerds.